Just 1 minute to talk about Doctor Who. Just 1 minute, or maybe two. Welcome to YouTube, we're talking Doctor Who. For you.
Hello and welcome to the final episode of TMDWP. And that's precisely what I mean. I'm not going to be making the Minute Doctor Who podcast anymore. I wanted to go out on my own terms, which is why this episode is coming to you today on the 14th of February 2018, exactly 10 years after I began the podcast. Now, you know the podcast has gone on hiatus many times in the past. It's never been consistent, so you might be thinking, Luke, well, why didn't you just go on another hiatus if you don't want to make any more now? And I think the reason for that is that all the while that it's been on hiatus, I still tell people that the Minute Doctor Who podcast is something that I do. And I'm ready to not be that person anymore. I'm ready to say that the Minute Doctor Who podcast, that TMDWP was something that I did. Not because I'm ashamed of it. I am very proud of the 10 years of podcasting, the 10 years of video podcasting, which is a crazy thing to do. I'm very proud of those 10 years, and I'm very happy with much of what I have put out into the ether in that time. I don't stand by everything that I've said. I look back at some of my previous episodes and wonder what the heck I was talking about. So why am I finishing now? Well, 10 years seems like a nice round number, but also just remembering the advice of Tegan's Auntie Vanessa. And to be honest, it's not been fun for quite some time, nor has watching Doctor Who itself been fun for me for quite some time. If you haven't yet had a chance to listen to it, there's a conversation between me and my wife a few episodes back. Do download that and have a listen if you haven't heard that, because it will give you a much better insight into where I'm at with Doctor Who right now. So that's a large part of it. It's definitely hard to let go, but I think this is the right thing to do, is to just draw a line under TMDWP and say, this podcast was and will never be again. That doesn't mean that I'm going to cease to put stuff out there online. It just means that on this podcast feed, if you're watching on the podcast feed, you won't be getting any more content from me. If you're watching on YouTube, then you're pretty much in the right place. If you're subscribed to my channel, you will get other stuff that I do. In fact, you'll already know that I do other things like the UFO cast, and I've done a series of vlogs last year about a number of things. And any further thoughts that I have about Doctor Who in the future will end up here on this YouTube channel, if you're indeed watching it on YouTube. If you're not, there's a link in the show notes. Please head over and subscribe if you want to continue to hear from me. And I hope, if you've stuck with me for any length of time on the podcast, that you'll want to hear about other things that I have to say when I'm not talking about Doctor Who. It's been a wonderful 10 years, and I've met some great people, both online and in real life. Many of you will be at Gallifrey 1 in Los Angeles right now. Wish I could be there with you. Maybe we'll one day again. But for now, it's goodbye. And you know that I always struggle with ending podcast episodes. And I haven't really given this one any thought either. So I guess I'll just say thanks, and I'll see you around.
Just 1 minute to talk about Doctor Who. Just 1 minute, or maybe two. Welcome to YouTube, we're talking Doctor Who.